Enigma6 are a very childish team from what I know, but I'm very confident with taking them. We beat them at Dallas 3-0, so there's no worries for us there.
The keys to beating Red Reserve is playing our game. They're very unorthodox how they work together as a team.
I think it depends on general. Like, I've seen him play and he's a really good player, but if we just shut him down, it'll be easy for you.
I don't really see Red as a problem for us.
We will be able to take E6 purely because of our teamwork. It's up there with the best in the world. Like, we've not got 4 heavy slayers, but when it comes to teamwork, we're up there.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Call of Duty World League presented by the PlayStation 4. Of course, it's the final day of the final week of the regular season of Stage 1. And up next on the main stage, we have a very, very important game. Of course, E6 versus Red Reserve. And Anthony, I kind of want to start this discussion with you. E6 is actually in a very similar position to what Team Envious was in week number 1. They need a 3-0. Well, they just need a win, to be fair, but they have a chance of taking that number 1 seed. How much pressure is on E6, and how did Envy deal with that?
I mean, as soon as you secure, that playoff spot, there's a little bit pressure relieved, but obviously you want that first seed. You want to be able to play an easier team going to playoffs. So that's really huge, and it's just good overall. It's a confidence boost, just going with that first seed and knowing that you're better than almost every team here.
Very true. And then on the flip side, how big of a game is this for Red Reserve, Mark?
Yeah, it's huge. So obviously if they're able to pick up this match, they would basically secure third place. And for them, that's stage 2. That's Anaheim pools. Most importantly, that's a spot at COD Champ. So very important for them if they want to solidify their spot at all 3 of those things.
Very true. Give themselves enough space between themselves and Elevate. Elevate still yet to win a series. Here's a look at our maps, though. Breakout Hardpoint, Throwback Search, Throwback Uplink, Retail Hardpoint, and Breakout Search if it goes the distance. Chance at first glance, I mean, how do you see this one breaking down? Bear in mind, of course, Enigma6, they haven't lost an Uplink all weekend.
Very true. In E6, though, in the Hardpoints, they've been kind of wildly inconsistent. When they have all 4 players playing as good as they can, they do incredibly well. But a lot of times you'll see 1 or 2 players just having a really off game, and they can struggle. And they played Red Reserve already. I think E6 ended up winning 3-1. Pretty close games, though. Even in the Uplink where E6 has been on point, it was close the whole way through.
Yeah, just looking at those maps, map number 1, Breakout Hardpoint, I just reminds me of Enigma6 versus Optic. Enigma6, such a strong start, so if they're able to keep that up, they're going to do well. And then on the flip side, game number 2, Throwback Search and Destroy, that's where we saw Red Reserve beat Optic Gaming. So they're very strong at the map. It'll be very exciting to see that game number 2.
Good point, Merc. Very, very good point. I believe the game about to get underway, so we can send it down to our fabulous casters for the series. It's DP and Maven.
Thank you so much, Benjamin. Yes, we are excited to get into this, and it's 2 very different stories, right? Enigma6, they take this, they have a chance later to maybe steal that first seed, sort of like we saw Envy do to Splice in week 1. On the other end, Red Reserve just trying to hang on to that 3rd spot, really.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be a hell of a battle. A lot of things on the line in this one. I think E6 has sort of the advantage going into this one, especially just because they've been so darn dominant in Uplink, so that sort of swing game definitely going to be in their favor. But, you're fighting for that number 2, possibly if you're Red Reserve. You can make things interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Red Reserve, they come in here, maybe get a 3-0 win, get some map counts in their favor, get another victory, and all of a sudden you're looking to steal it from Enigma6. I mean, it's not really a storyline we expected to develop coming into today, but it's possible, right? If you come out here and play the best Call of Duty of your weekend, you've got a chance, but it's just tough, man. With how good E6 has looked, you're going to need Urban on your screen. He's got to be absolutely brilliant throughout this.
Yeah, for sure. I completely agree. Urban has to keep playing at that top tier potential that we've seen, especially with this pistol. He's been doing work getting those 3 pieces. I expect him to do it again here. But for me, it's Joe. Joe's, one of the better players on this team, in my opinion. I don't think he's been performing as of late.
I think he was maybe their best player kind of versus Optic in one series, but outside of that, he has been very, very lackluster. 3 kills going the way of Enigma6 early. Urban will be the last one to drop, and the first points going the way of E6. So now they're going to fan out across the map, look to get set up and pick up these cutoffs. Proto going to catch a couple off guard. Good positioning from him to get into the top aggressive window.
Quality movement from Proto, able to stay alive and buy his team a bunch of time. General sitting pretty in the hill for just a second as M. Ruiz switch on board with him as he tries to lock down loading, but gets destroyed.
That was Nile. Let's go over to Nile's POV, just because he's got a 3 streak actually right now. He's going to be racking up time at the hard point, and players should be pushing him just in a moment here, and they've got the spawns except for that number 8. General has wrapped around all the way in the bottom of the map. You'll see him in the corner. That's going to be a crucial gunfight as we get out of here. At him dropping, okay, Urban did win it, so the spawns are going to be now set up for Red Reserve and cell block.
A little bit of scrap time going into E6's favor. That first hardpoint going as expected. Nice shots from Cade onto that kill over towards Urban as they try and work up towards middle map, but Nile stops them down. 2 versus 2 situation now at the back as they fight for spawns. A huge kill on the side of Joe. That's exactly what they need to lock down this cell block and sustain this lead.
Let's swap over to Shawnee if we can, because they're going to be hitting the wall run, and Shawnee's going to be the person inside. Well, as I say that, 2 players hit the wall run. They're able to take him out. Now the remaining players from Red Reserve have to try and hold strong. The pistol, almost enough for Urban, but the kills still going just enough the way of Red Reserve. They keep on holding on.
Nice pistol v pistol battle. Cade's pistol just a little bit stronger there at the wall run. A nice hold right now at cell block for Red Reserve. Contesting is coming in from General, but nice trades. Gonna lock down the last 15 seconds or so. 60 points for them at the end of this one.
And talk to me, you saw in the last series how much you can dominate in cell block. What was it, 110 to 3 or
131 to 3.
131 to 3. So what did Optic Gaming do so well that allowed to give them such an edge? Did you see something like that out of Red Reserve as they had a really good solid start?
Is that largely based on that middle control. If you lock down that middle lane, it makes them push a lane, whether it's that far left that takes way too long or that wall run that it's so easy to line up kills. They don't really have that chance to contest. But now we see the side of E6, they get this rotation. They're locking down this cave side. You can see number 5 on your minimap, Emery's in a 1v1 gunfight. Urban's trying to do his best to wrap around to try and block these spawns as the wave comes in from Red, but they shut it down. Now, looks like that one player is cleared out from Red Reserve, so a nice hold from E6.
Yeah, I mean, by the time the flanker got there that you were referring to, everyone else had already died trying to hit the front, so maybe the timing a little bit off, but all the timing in the world isn't going to matter if you lose every single one of those individual gunfights as you try to push through. So a perfect hold at cell block for Red Reserve is now answered by a flawless hold from Enigma6. As we take a look at commissary, you've already got Emery set up nicely here.
Yeah, huge rotation from him to catch that player on the wall run. Now the battle for middle begins. One player trying to stay alive, it's Cade at Showers, but he's cleaned up. So now the middle push going to be coming in, and you can't die for free there. Urban makes the heads up play. Now he's going to be fighting towards the hill now that he knows that he has number advantage with his team. General holding strong though towards the back.
Good stuff from General and Cruz. I know we've talked a lot about General. He's obviously, from just purely a stat perspective, he's been a complete animal. Whether it's in the objective, whether it's in slang and search and respawn, he's been fantastic. What else, though, about this team has been so impressive for you? Enigma6 has been brilliant all weekend.
Just such high-pressure gameplay. So much momentum. Proto's been playing amazing. I was giving Cade a little bit of flack early on in the weekend, but he's been performing quite well. It's a team performance from them. They do fall off at times, but really, overall, very consistent gameplay, and their uplink has been impressive.
Their uplink has been lights out. And speaking of how good General has been, it's the whole team right now. You have a 3 streak for Ruiz and Cade, 4 in a row for General. So they're starting to build towards some streaks. And like you saw in the previous series, it was early streaks for Optic Gaming in both of the hard points. It ended up being very, very difficult for Elevate to deal with. We'll see if Enigma6 can rack some of these up. General getting the new hard point. He'll get the points. He's 25 off the bombardment. Beautiful stuff. Just get in, get the points, get out.
Perfect play. You do get those cap points for securing that hard point now. 25 away from the bombardment. Trying to stay alive as much as he can. Finally gets some covering fire from Emery. Does he get this kill? Yes, he does. Earns those streaks that are going to be so beneficial going to the next cave.
That was perfect. Did he have to bait his teammates there a little bit? Probably screaming for help. Yes, but you get the streaks. That can be crucial when we get back to Graveyard, to Commissary, one of those open hard points where you can really make a big difference. And now on the other side of things, you saw the streak coming in from General. It's Joe's turn, but as soon as I say that, it's none other than General shutting him down.
Shawnee doing his best with this K-bar. Usually see him with the NV4, so maybe wants to up the momentum, the pressure on his team with this a little bit of a close quarter weapon. Putting some shots down at range, some nice team shooting. They should get the last 10 seconds or so of scrap, but no one's really at that back anchor. Finally, we see Nile rotate over there to get those spawns for Cell.
Well, back on Shawnee, I was talking to Watson of Elevate a little bit. He teamed with him previously this year, and he was talking about what a great young player he's been, how he hasn't let some of the up-and-coming success for him get to his head. Cool-headed. He said he misses teaming with him sometimes. I mean, he's got some hot-headed teammates now, right? When you look at Rated and Reedy, Shawnee kind of the opposite of that, but Rated and Reedy have been good this weekend, especially up against Optic Gaming. Just not enough for them to get a win in the previous series. Red Reserve now, it's their turn to try and get an upset against the North American team, but there you see General yet again getting 2 inside cell block. And last time it was all Red Reserve here. Now it's General and company doing a much better job.
The game-changing play right there, in my opinion, is Cade using that FTL to get to that contesting spot that allows General to get into a position to get those gunfights. Proto somehow gets 2 beatdowns as they're holding this one. Not sure how that happened.
Well, what was actually incredible about that for me is if you were looking at the minimap, you were like holding from the wrong side in the sense that the spawns were still coming in the back spot for 3 different waves there, and still Enigma6 able to hold on. And that's just that's just outslaying your opponents. When you don't have the favorable spawn like that, and each death hurts hurts you so much. That was beautiful from Enigma6.
Rotation gunfight's going to be going down soon. Red Reserve does have this cave side, so don't expect the streaks yet. Maybe if they get this wrap around, the flank is coming in from General, though. The heads-up play doesn't win the gunfight, though, so a huge hold from Nile. Proto the last one alive, and Hill trying to buy his team time. Red Reserve holding strong, though. Should be able to get the next 15 seconds or so.
Can we go to General real quick? I'm curious if he uses any streaks in this. Yep, now they're going to come in. So he's going to streak this, have to push the players into cave or into the back control. Ruiz is able to get the opening one. General doesn't connect with anyone, but he floods them into cave is the big play, and now they've got control of the backside.
Yeah, huge advocate of using that bombardment on this one rather than the Trinity Rocket because it forces them to get out of the hill for a period of time. You can sort of juke out the Trinity Rocket, not quite as good anymore, so that bombardment, a huge heads-up play. They're able to get some of this time back, but there is a 1v1 going down in the hill. Proto wins that, but Red has the rotation.
So that got you, what, probably about 25 seconds or so you get out of using the bombardment. Do you like that play there? I mean, you're not going to have the setup for the next at commissary. Still, I mean, it gets you a good chunk of time, right?
Yeah, I guess you could have saved it for this sort of situation, bombardment the back, but there's so many areas to hide. I'm really happy with that point earning overall on cave. Looks like the gunfight's going back, though. Joe holding strong at the back. Spawn picks up two. Nice movement with the team shot with his teammate Urban, holding that commissary quite well.
And now we'll see him build towards some streaks, very close to the Trinity Rocket. See if he can get to that bombardment as well. I want to see, can we go? I want to know if General's maybe going to use that Trinity to bust in here. It looks like they're just going to do it with their gunplay for now. We haven't seen him stop moving. I'm keeping an eye on that mini-map. Joe, as he wraps back, he's got one fight here at Helipad, trying to control the back spawns. Joe tags him up for a moment, hasn't been able to finish it. Help from Urban comes in.
Some nice teamwork there. Shawnee picks up two. One last player in the hill from E6 should get cleaned up in just a second. There it is. Urban holding strong. So they get the full hold at commissary. You see those spawns coming out from cave. Really clinical work from Joe at that back helipad side, just staying alive, utilizing his teammates' line of sights that are a bit better than his to stay alive, lock down those spawns.
And we saw General do a good job playing his life to get the streaks. Now Joe trying to do it as well. One more kill off the bombardment, wants the time in the hard point. You're 3 feet away from diving in, getting those entry points, and he would have had it, but that's a big kill coming through for E6 to chop him down just before he can get in.
Might be the game changer. General is able to get that bombardment to clear out some time at cave. Him not getting that might prove to be, pretty dismal for the going into the next one. But looks like Red Reserve getting a lot of time early in this one. 30 seconds left here at top.
Okay, now we'll get back over to Nile now. He's got one player in front. Nice shots on him to take out Cade. For some reason, Nile only has 2 score streaks to work with. He's too good for 3. Didn't want to get fully prepared for this. And he might get towards those Scorchers, but that's an interesting setup.
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
Well, think about this. I mean,
if
he gets the Scorchers here and he was going to be able to get the bombardment more than likely, I mean, that's 2. Think about that. That could be 2 bombardments that you would have had. You get Joe cut down a little bit early. Nile could have also had one. That's 2 different big score streaks that you may be without.
Has the Centurion, should place it down here, in my opinion. The cell block going to be the best time to pop it, but slides out middle. The reactive armor coming in. He stays alive. Does he get the kill? Yes, he does. Turn and burn with the slide. Nile making the plays to hold down cell.
A 6 streak from Joe. Now a nice one from Nile as well. He's 25 and 19, and they've just broke the 200-point mark. Their first hold on cell block was a thing of beauty. Absolutely locked it down. Can they do it here as well? And this is somewhere where, payloads are going to be crucial in trying to bust in. Is Proto in general, and Ruiz get it done. But I was just about to say, you can't use really those Trinity rockets from General here. It's not going to be that influential. They don't need it, man. They play behind the camo. They bust through with 20 seconds remaining.
Payload abilities at the ready, though, for Red Reserve. I think they have some streaks in the back pocket as well, so they should be able to win this rotation. They need to make sure of locking down the cave side of this hardpoint, though, not pushing out too strong. Proto does win the first gunfight. This is the next one going to be huge. Shawnee able to win that one, so they should get a lot of this intro time. Urban now getting a bit aggressive towards Spiral. A huge kill from him.
Yeah, that's big, too, because you don't allow General to use those streaks. I'm curious if when he comes off spawn, can we check General real quick? Does he still have the Trinity? Okay, I missed that, actually. So we saw the bombardment. He's already used the Trinity, so you don't have that to work with, but there is going to be one coming in on the other side. Are they able to clear the way? Hasn't connected with anything yet. Everyone has to run out of the hard point for now. Still a 30-point advantage for Red Reserve. Nile trying to hold the back, using the cover, and there's 2. Shawnee with 2. They hold down the front, and you've got one more push here for E6.
Interesting decision. I actually like it, though. The desperation push should be coming in soon. He does have the Scorchers as well if he does need to clear it out. E6 deciding to make this rotation over towards middle. Ruiz does pick up one at Spiral. but gets taken out instantly. There is the flank coming in, though. Proto could make the play. If he's able to get one, that could be huge to break. Does find the first. Payload is popped, though. Shani pops it at the opportune time, picks up 2. Joe with the 3rd. They're holding strong. That should be it. 250 to 194. Such a strong hold there with the payload.
You had a 7 streak from Joe, a 7 streak from Niall, a 7 streak from Shani to close it out. And think about it. We're talking about 2 bombardments you maybe could have had. Niall didn't even have it equipped. Joe came up 1 kill short, and you didn't even need it. So you played that well there. 3 different players just going off in big capacity through the throughout that breakout hardpoint. You know, where we saw yesterday, where it seemed like the European teams were not remotely hanging with North America's best, today that has not been the case. Elevate plays Optic tough, and now you see Red Reserve coming in hot in game 1 versus E6.
Surprising, too. I really didn't think it was going to happen, especially with the way E6 was holding down cell blocks so well, able to contest and get the majority of that one. But those rotations, Red Reserve did such a good job of, they need to stay inside that cave. There's so many spots where you can hide, get those good line of sights. They're able to do it, rack up all those streaks, and not even need to use them.
That was beautiful from Red Reserve. But now the question is, can you get it done in Search? And the answer so far this weekend has been yes. I mean, Optic Gaming before that series with Elevate, their only 2 map losses were, I believe, Breakout, Search, and Destroy to Red Reserve. So they've been good in Search. Can they do it here where E6 has also been playing very, very well? But the scary part's going to be, I think, once we get to that uplink. If E6 steals the Search, and then you get to the uplink where they've been undefeated, that's where stuff might get scary quickly for Red Reserve.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking towards that uplink, E6 still does have that perfect record. So I think if Red has a chance in this entire series, yes, it's only map 1. They have the advantage, but they really need to take this Search and Destroy on Throwback, in my opinion. I think they can. They seem to play aggressive. The biggest thing I've seen from them overall is I think they need to pull out a couple of ERADs, stay together, and most importantly, get those trades quickly on the map.
Well, before we hop into our next match, let's take a look at this quick mashup.
I think us and Optic will qualify for the playoffs, namely because we're just the better 2 teams in the group.
The 2 teams that will qualify for playoffs will be Enigma6 and Optic Gaming because we put in the most work more than anyone. In terms of Optic, they're just an all-around good, consistent team, so there's no reason why they shouldn't.
I'd say us and Optic probably being first, but I think we take that 2nd spot. Elevate as a team don't look too strong right now, and E6 again off past the performances. Like at Dallas, we beat them 3-0, so I'm as confident as I can be playing against them.
Us and E6 will qualify for the playoffs. I think they've worked hard enough. I think they've worked harder than the other 2 teams, and I think just overall we're the 2 better teams.
2 teams that will qualify for playoffs will be us and Optic.
There haven't been many dead-on predictions, and I think that's why the 2nd spot will be up for grabs this weekend. I think any team can come and show up, but I think our team is just kind of ahead of these other 3 that are here.
Well, I think for the most part, I agree with it. But now this is big, though. Red Reserve, again, they can take this series. They play back-to-back, I believe. They can go through this. They can go through Elevate, and all of a sudden, maybe they can, weasel their way into 2nd place, where a lot of people, especially European fans, they thought it was possible for them to be top 2. I think a lot of us did after the, 5th, 6th place at Dallas, but we haven't really seen much from them this weekend. That might be the best map of Hardpoint I think I've seen.
Yeah, definitely, especially going into that uplink. Can they shatter that perfect record? Maybe that'll put E6 on tilt, possibly going in later today. This is a huge map right here on this map number 2, though.
Well, it's impressive as well to do it on Hardpoint, because Hardpoint on Breakout, because last night I believe that was the final map we saw with them versus Optic Gaming. If I remember correctly, it was Optic Gaming outslayed them by nearly 40 kills. It was like 250 to 100. I talked to the Optic Gaming guys after it, and they were like, we weren't even calling out. We weren't trying. We were just beating them so badly that we stopped caring halfway through. So to do that to Red Reserve last night on that map, and then they come out and beat E6 like that, that's impressive, man. You got to think maybe they talked through it a little bit after the thrashing last night.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe it's just unlucky timings, things not going their way, but when you get brutalized like that, you don't expect them to bounce back. So good composure, making sure they have a chance going into today, possibly taking that 2nd spot, and need to lock down that 3rd for sure.
And it was a polar opposite. Last night they led, I think Krim went on like a 13 streak, then an 8 streak. This time it was 3 different members going on 7 streaks from them, so maybe a little bit more focus on the slang. And they get a big W in game 1, but now it's going to be Search and Destroy. Red Reserve, especially back at Dallas where they won, it was, I think, 75 or 85% of them. That's what carried them there, was getting it through game 2 and game 5. They went through a long losers bracket run. But now they're going to have to take down E6.
Need to stay aggressive over towards that A site at bottom bike path. I've been talking about it a lot on this map, where I think on that strong side of the map, teams just need to stack it a bit more and take your chances at the other one. Teams have been doing a better job overall of spreading themselves out on that offense to try and gain information, but I don't think it's been quite perfected yet.
Well, let's see what Proto's able to do. You were able to watch Formal in the last series as he looked over a similar spot, playing it back bus, looking over the bomb carrier, having to watch mid-map. Keep eyes on the flank as well. Ooh, tries to snap on one going underneath. We'll give that call out to his teammates. But unfortunately, now this is where the sniper may start to hurt you. You get first blooded very early, and you're in a 3v4 and down a gun in many situations.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, you can kind of deem this a, I guess, 2 versus 4 in the favor of E6 because you're stuck with that sniper pistol now. Looks like the bomb going to be rotated on that top side of the map. General doesn't waste any time planting that down, and I agree with the play completely. If the map's open, just back up towards blue. Hopefully you can get a kill.
Well, now you're in a spot where the sniper can be great. Since you're planted for blue, if you're set up there, you've got a nice line of sight to look over it. This could play out very, very nicely. Proto does find himself a K-bar, though. Needs to get back on the action as his teammate drops. He gets good timing here behind a couple, but 2 players still remaining. Make it actually 3 for Red Reserve, and they will have an easy defuse. And that was just, I mean, the biggest problem, I think, just the first blood that happened in the opening 10 seconds of the round. You're down a man so quickly as E6.
It's exactly how you need to play that map. So much aggression towards that middle of the map, and Red Reserve needs to keep this momentum going. Keep the other team on that back foot. They're able to do it there, get that first blood, and then they don't waste any time retaking on this one as well. They take out General so quickly in that top blue side. Very impressive.
Okay, we'll head into round 2. Now see what Red Reserve is able to do on the offensive end. Curious to see if they're going to be pulling out a sniper as well, or will they be going with a little bit more of a standard approach. We'll go with Urban for now, as he has been. Let's get back over to Urban for a second, see if there's going to be anyone on the flank that he can challenge. He did see one for a second, but let's go actually over to the other side near the A site, since there's 4 players basically stacked up here. I think Nile has one in the corner. He checks. He's going to know he's there. Does he push it? Yes, he does. Gets him weak. Brilliant play there from Nile, but he gets traded out immediately. All of a sudden, it's Urban, who he started with, all by his lonesome teep. Now he's got to try and clutch up in a 1v2.
Bunch of grenades coming into play. Trading going down on that bottom site. Urban now trying to roam around. Has to worry about that, grabbing that bomb. The setup is a little bit spread apart from E6. Getting shot in the back, though, doesn't matter. So a nice spread. I'm not a huge advocate of that normally, but I guess when you're covering basically both line of sights, you're good to go.
Yeah, I'm always a partner of the buddy system in these situations. But yeah, when the player ends up splitting right between that, it works brilliantly. Nice job as they're able to find the kill. And E6 right back into this one. And again, speaking about Urban, though, he's been good all weekend, but specifically Searchman, he has been lights out. I think so many games I've casted, he's actually dropped double digits. They're going to need him to do that here as well. Proto gets tagged up a little bit immediately and needs to back down.
Looks like the double flank going to be coming in very quickly from the side of Red Reserve, going away from that first initial strategy that worked out pretty well for them, to be honest. But looks like E6 will be pinned pretty soon. We hop on board with Joe, finds a sniper in the back. Can he find the second? Yes, some nice shots, doesn't miss a bullet. And now the E6 players don't really have a chance in this 2v4.
And that's exactly what Chance was talking about. You remember Optic's weakness going into this, that they would get flanked a lot. No one will watch it. Krim did a good job doing that here. Nobody on it. 2 players sneak through. You get a little bit of fortunate timing as well. And Joe opens up with 2 big ones, and they take another round. Red Reserve continues to look solid in search and destroy.
And it's a bit confusing to me. It seemed like that's sort of E6's, or a lot of teams' sort of basic strategy. For whatever reason, the guy that goes blue, it's usually General, or it was on that first round, doesn't go over there and spot it out at all. And they get punished because of it. It just seems like it's a lapse in communication. I don't really know what their plan overall was.
Let's see if they fix it the next offensive round. Okay, offense now for Red Reserve. They're doing a 4-man hit towards the B site. There's one person here. General might be caught overextending. If they go, he's caught. He's completely caught here. He's able to at least get 1 kill, but to get dropped. And it's important he got that 1, right? But he's in a position there where, I mean, if they're coming, you're going to get 1 and you're going to drop. There's not a whole lot more you can do.
Yeah, definitely. Nile getting close to that camo as well as he gets that plant over 3/4 of the way there. The retake attempt going to be coming in soon. They can't waste any time. It is so tough to get all the way over towards blue. There is 1 player in those train tracks as well, just trying to spot out, but interesting play from Red. They're hitting 2 players in the underpass, going to try and pinch out this player at Barn. The wrap is coming in from Proto, though. 2 versus 2 situation. There is 1 player alive over towards blue, the last one alive now for Red.
It's just going to be on Joe. 20 seconds remaining here. He just has to make a smart play, not get spotted, and try to kill the player on the bomb. Can't cut him down. 1 sliver left. You still have, what, 4 seconds or so? He should have been able to get to it regardless. Nice try by Joe. I mean, there it's just, unfortunately, all his teammates drop around the site, and that was... it ended up being a little bit unlucky, I think. You mentioned that 2 players were trying to wrap through. There was one yellow arrow that wrapped right behind the wrap, kind of flank on flank. Just a bit unfortunate, I think.
Yeah, it really could have worked out, but when you have the bomb down like that, the other team is forced to make the play. Why are you trying to make the play in the situation where you just need to kill time, and you're the one that should just be purely gaining information? You don't need to roll the dice there.
I mean, you have it planted for blue.
Yeah.
No one playing towards blue but Joe, right? Everybody else trying to, they were trying to flank through barn, basically, and they will be caught out. Cade tagging up one early, but we'll have to back down. The push does come in. Joe, another opening first blood. We'll see if he can keep it going. It looks like there's one hunting for him here. He has the ERAD. He, well, wisely backs down. I thought he would challenge that at close range.
Nah, just pops that camo to get that second blood onto that player towards E6. 2 versus 4 situation. I love how aggressive they're getting now. Joe, able to spot this player. Okay, he doesn't hit a shot, but his teammate's there, fortunately, to pick him up. The trade should be coming in just a second. General actually picks up 2, which is surprising, but gets cleaned up. Another quality round from Red Reserve, and I like the usage of that payload early. He obviously got it so quickly in this one. He can get more plants, get that camo possibly again if this goes late rounds.
There you see Joe and Shiny combining to clean things up. Shot a General as he's trying to rally the troops here in this search and destroy. Red Reserve still with a 1-round advantage. You see Nile has some work to do to get towards camo now. Let's see what he's able to do. Nile getting set up with the side. He's got one in the close pocket, one at Lemon. Proto and him fighting. Proto gets both. Cuts down both players at the A site. 6 stuff from him. Urban tries to answer back, but then left alone. Quick and easy around there for E6.
Proto got those 2 kills a bit too easily, in my opinion. It just seemed like a panic. Nile got to the bomb, just sort of waving his aim back and forth, hip firing. Doesn't really hit clean shots, but regardless, Proto so strong on that A site.
Well, it was the first kill because typically, you know, you have the player back bus, whether it's with a sniper or an MV4, kind of overlooking that. So if that push happens, he can put shots over your player playing by the bomb site. I guess the first kill was the player at back bus. I don't know how he got perfect shots on him and then snapped onto the second player, but 6 stuff from Proto, or maybe a little bit of lapse in aim from the Red Reserve player towards back bus. But here we go into round 7. Proto tucked into an aggressive pocket here towards mid-map.
One thing you need to know, Cade is playing those train tracks. I'm not sure if he spotted it. It seemed like he did based the way he reacted. There is one player watching that flank though, so yeah, I think he did call it out. Proto picks up the first over towards the sidewalk, gets traded. The flank should be coming in strong though. This player is taken out at bust. I think they have a good shot, 2v2 now.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Joe and Urban hit the flank together. Remember last time Joe was able to get 2 kills for it. This time it looked like they were set up, but it's going to be a 1v1. You have FTL if you're Urban. You still have Pistol out. FTL's over the top. You are so cocky, but he's able to win it. 12 seconds left. The Pistol of Urban getting it done. I like it.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful and confident, which is exactly what I like to see. Whips that pistol out. How many times has that bailed him out this weekend? I think other players need to start using it.
Didn't he have I thought he had a few left in the clip.
He probably did.
For the K-bar. He was like, screw it, man. And it's not like he took it. He could have taken his time and reloaded. Instead, he FTL jumps into the fight. Oh, that was crazy stuff.
Really smart too, because he didn't really have that momentum to get up on the train quickly. So he's like, all right, I'm going to FTL. Hopefully I can spot this guy before he gets away. Fortunately, it works out for him. Now they have the lead, 9-4 now for Urban, close to streaks as well.
You see why we've been talking about Urban when it comes to S&D. He keeps doing it here. I believe he was just spotted over the top by General, who will be the lone man by this B site. So we'll swap back over to Nile. He'll be your bomb carrier. Remember, last time he tried to peek in, he got picked immediately. So it was, yeah, him and Shawnee. I guess you see at 8 on the minimap, Shawnee was the one that got picked up, I think, by Proto. So he just gunned both. This time, though, Urban, yet another first blood. The patience games pays off towards the A site.
General being a bit confident over towards that side. Urban reads it out, just playing patient, and he's just gaining information. They decided to back away from this A-bomb. I love this spread out right here. They have the number advantage, plenty of time to work with, and they act like they're rotating and take it right back to the bomb site. Such a smart play.
Well, I feel like in the last series, we saw Elevate do this. Remember, they played really, really slow, and they caught Krim. Krim eventually lost his patience and pushed on through underpass, and they're just waiting in a corner for him. Some nice trickery and patience from Red Reserve, and now they've got the bomb down. Ruiz trying to push forward, checking either site. We're back over to Urban's POV as he's 10-4 and 75 off this Trinity rocket. The close range gunfight goes his way. One more kill away from bombardment and another FTL jump, but it seems like he just used. Shot a little bit shaky. Proto able to take it, but Proto would need to pull off the 1v4. This should be it. He has camo to go, but too many players to take down.
Urban, the key figure for Red Reserve in Search to Destroy, doing it again. locking down that site, picks up the, I guess, second blood over towards that sidewalk side. Would have been huge if you could have got that bombardment, but I really expect on the next offense, I think E6 will take this one. They seem pretty confident on those offenses, but next time they have streaks to work with. If they just get that bomb down, use that Trinity, you can buy so much time.
All right, well, I want to watch the 7 and 6 on the minimap and see if they go for a quick flank yet again. They've done it many rounds. Doesn't look like, okay, so a little bit of change in defense from Red Reserve. We'll be on with Proto now of E6. He's at mid-map, he has camo, and he's flying in with the red. You're safe right now from anything coming in from the Trinity rocket. Both gunfights, nope, just one going Proto's way. He will be gunned. You've got 3 down for either side. I saw you shaking your head, buddy. I don't think you like that Trinity use too much.
It just doesn't really make much sense to me. You're not guaranteed anything from it, is why I don't like it. The pistol coming out from Urban again loses that player. I think he gets taken out 2v2 now. Needs to work together. Only 20 seconds left, though. Joe picks up 1. Gets punched, though. Emery's trying to stay alive in this 1 versus 2. Player is behind him. Gets behind the bomb. Does he gun him? Almost does. What is this gunfight?
What is this gunfight? He still hasn't killed him!
What happened?
Oh, I don't know.
Someone calm down and shoot your gun straight.
The Mayweather. There were like 4 attempted reloads, 17 slides, 40 missed bullets, and 1 final fist to win that. What the hell?
Okay. Well, that's a clutch, I guess, if you want to call it one, by default.
I feel like that's if you put Jack and I in a boxing ring and we had to that's what you would see there.
Okay.
God.
So the streak is burned. Urban's getting pretty close to his FTL again, though. Joe's close to his payload. Not sure why he doesn't have the bomb to probably earn that one. Things settle down now.
Red Reserve, if you're just joining us, up 1-0 in this series. This is a huge one for them. Proto's going to camo in the back. Gets behind the player at Bus. Shots a little off, but still able to get the kill. Now he snaps back. Timing unfortunate there, I think, for the Red Reserve player. Otherwise, he would have been caught. As he checks back bowling, still trying to play his life. There's the third, 1 player left. It's all on Urban. It's looking like round 11, unless there are some absolute heroics. You have FTL jump, but not going to be using it there. It's round 11, baby. We've had a lot of those this weekend.
Perfect camo from Proto. Gets that most important player in the setup at back bus. They pinch the player on the bomb site. Beautiful play from them. Executed with that payload ability perfectly. And that's why I was shaking my head earlier of the Urban just blasting those streaks away. Now you can't bail yourself out or get an easy hold on the bomb site. We go to around 11. All things pointing towards E6 now.
And this is huge for either side. You know, you cement yourself in that second spot if you're E6 with the win in this series. You're still fighting for the second spot if you win this if you're Red Reserve. It looks like it's going to be a quick plant for General. I think he's already looking to stick it down. First gunfight goes away. Release. Proto connecting with the sniper as well. It's just going to be just on Nile and Shawnee. Hey, just get melted off the map. 4 up, 4 down. E6 clutch up in round 11.
Just throwing that one away. Red Reserve throws it away. E6 clutches up, though, and it started with that really weird round. Emery's able to get that clutch. Probably shouldn't have happened, but regardless, it does. They bring it back. A quality comeback in Search and Destroy, but that's got to hurt if you're Red.
Well, it hurts for several reasons. I mean, you lose the Search and Destroy, which has been your best mode, and you should have won that game, I think, in both of our opinions. And then now you got Uplink, which has been E6's best mode.
Yep.
So this is not very pretty. I mean, at least if you go into Uplink 2-0, you're thinking, all right, if we need to lose a game here, we're guaranteed a game 5 already. We know we feel good about Search, but now the series flipped on its head in many ways for me.
And the biggest thing, too, is when you have a Trinity like that, why not just go to the other bomb site, lay it down, back up towards blue. You can literally buy yourself, over 8-10 seconds just hovering that rocket as long as possible. Just the overall mentality, I don't know what the calls were there.
Well, crucial series right now between Enigma6 and Red Reserve. Coming up next, it's the Uplink. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our G Fuel key player matchup. It is General of Enigma6 and Urban from Red Reserve.
You can see the numbers on your screen here. These KDs, both these guys carrying so much of the load, putting the team in the backpack at times. Moving over towards this uplink, though, General has that 1.18 KD. Look for him to be the sort of catalyst in this one to get his team to win.
Both playing hard carries for their team all weekend. Who will play better? Who will get the edge in the upcoming uplink? That is it for your G Fuel key player matchup. Welcome back. We are prepping for the Uplink series, all tied at 1 apiece. Red Reserve, I think for us, kind of threw away Search and Destroy. They probably should have closed out. They would have been sitting pretty in this series, but now they have to go up against Enigma6's best game mode.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty tough. E6 holding strong in that uplink category. And speaking of uplink, I think we have a bit of a breakdown. Not sure why he's over there and not me, but we're going to toss it over to Jack as we get into this uplink.
Oh, TP, stop. You're out of your mind. What are you doing? You're saying that I shouldn't be here and you should? Not with the knowledge I have, Professor Jack back here. I thought maybe he was about to throw something at me. That's why I just did that on the telestrator. So sorry for his. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. So we're talking about Enigma6, an uplink 100% win rate in the game mode so far this weekend. How do they do it, though? What has been their key to success? Many teams in Uplink, they wind up pushing up a little bit on the map, getting a couple kills, dropping the drone, and going for a second wave of kills. Typically, those kills are right outside the base, near the portal, making sure they can clear the lane for a dunk. Enigma6, they completely change things up. Their goal is to just get one wave of kills, play scrappy, and go for a one-point throw. How do they do that on a map like Throwback? They wind up pushing through this underpass area or bringing the drone towards just outside this back granny side. What do they do from there? Their lead blocker just gets one more kill. If they can get one more kill on the cutoff, that then lets the drone carrier move up on this wall run, hit the high end of it, and throw the drone in towards the portal on that back side. Now, if we look at the other side of the map, we all know underpass is the key to success here for the quick one-point play. They have a lead blocker push up, get one gunfight win as the players are spawning from that top blue side to charge on down, and then you'll see the drone carrier throw it right over this Bathrooms building in for the one-point play. Enigma6 are very scrappy in Uplink. Most of their wins so far in the game mode have not been pretty, but when you're sitting at 4-0 in it so far this weekend, obviously something is working. Keep an eye on that in this upcoming map as Enigma6 look to remain perfect in the game mode. That's going to do it for me here on the telestrator. Let's get to game number 3.
Jack, brilliant stuff as always, but Teep, I want to hear from someone that actually knows what they're talking about. What from Enigma6 has been impressive for you? I know we talked about it a bit, we were on the analysis desk together, but you saw a lot of stuff you liked yesterday.
It's really two things in my opinion. They leave a player behind enemy lines when they're down in numbers, and that person plays their life. As long as that guy can get one kill, expect that guy to be, I don't know, front green, top ticket, just being annoying if they can get that one kill and stop the push. Number two, they don't really care about those flankers as much. Like Jack said, he did a great job of breaking that down. They don't waste any time getting that drone, and when you move the drone that quickly, all you need is that one kill from your lead blocker to get that one off and secure your team the point.
All right, well, let's see what they can do here. I know you looked at the stats before this between Urban and General. Both have been absolutely fantastic. I mean, the guy coming up with some real clutch plays, though, is the man on your screen. Proto has been phenomenal in the game mode. We've seen some nerdy plays from him as far as tossing the drone out, some fancy passes. He's been doing it all, and he's going to be the one hitting Courtyard for a quick flank through mid-map. We'll see if he can catch anybody off guard.
Nice route from him. Looks like not much middle map presence as they throw the drone over. Does Proto get it in his hands? He does. Oh, I thought he was going to get the one off for the second. A bit of a cheeky play there.
Yeah, a little bit of a set play, maybe to open things up. You see the drone just fall into his lap. Just, yeah, one more second, and he can likely get a point on the board. But now, more of a standard attack that we saw Jack speaking about. You have to get the drone down, look to find a couple of entry kills, typically try to get up the wall run. He just wants to flood it through the back because he has a teammate here. Dude, what? That was so bad!
Look up! Oh, they had it.
God. It's like one of those you think maybe he had another teammate there, so if he misses, he can get the dunk through. Instead, that looked like, Shaq at the free throw line, or like a much weaker version of Shaq.
Not sure how he doesn't get that one, and that should have been an easy point. E6 actually makes a huge mistake. Well, as we talk about it, Red Reserve answering back strong. Should be able to get at least 1 point. No, the drone is dropped. Urban
Don't miss
goes
it.
for it. Okay. I got scared. I thought they were going to choke again as hard as they choked that S&D.
All right, well, 2-0 edge for Red Reserve. I mean, a victory here would be incredible, but then you'd be biting yourself a little bit for that search. You think you'd have that hot 3-0. That would be so big in this. It's thrown over the top now for Enigma6. It's going to be Proto, last alive. Proto with the toss. It's up, away, it's good. And those are the big ones that are nice. When you're like the last man, you still get a point out of it, and you can hold fast here behind the base. He's being so annoying. Look at this. What, 2 players coming back to focus on him? Finally, they're able to clean it up.
Oh, imagine if he got that kill as well. Impressive movement from Proto once again. General now moving up towards Bridge as they lock down this middle of the map. If they can pick up that third, expect the drone to move quickly. But the things I was talking about, staying alive, Joe should have played his life a bit longer in my opinion. But regardless, things start to settle down. Middle map control going to be in favor of E6 though. They can get these kills over towards Underpass. Expect this drone to be tossed over.
Yeah, Cade is snapping right now. 3 in a row, looking for a 4th. Tags going up, has drone in front of him as well. Needs some help in this position. He doesn't care. He's gunning everything. 9 and 4, a 5 streak for Cade, and now it's time to get forward. Somebody tried to chase him in the back window. They might be able to cut Proto down on the flank, but not with his fancy feet. Cade now a 6 streak. Cade looking to dominate everyone in the back line of Red Reserve. He's still up, still fighting. 100 off the bombardment, and finally falls to Joe.
Brilliant kills there. The 1 point is going to go off to tie up that one, and Cade just made that look so easy. 11 and 5 start for him. Just knowing where the other team's going to spawn up, getting that trap off, and when you get that trap locked in, it looks like they're going to be able to do it again. The last couple of players from Red going to decide to overextend. Should be a fairly easy dunk in the hands of General. There it is, going to reset over towards middle. Let's see if they can get the relay going.
There we go, and again, you have somebody in the back of the base for Red Reserve. They're spawning out at blue, spawning out courtyard, trying to fight back. Look at that play. I was about to say, Ruiz got the drone I thought was going to get over the top, but just comes up a little bit short. Now Shani trying to play some defense here in the back of the base. It's a 4-2 advantage for Enigma6. Things will slow down towards the map for a moment here. Deep breath for both teams.
Cade burns that streak, though. He used the Trinity Rocket to buy a little bit of time. I mean, he is playing so darn good, he'd probably get another one. But regardless, I feel like you need to use that in a more dire situation to bail your teammates out. You're already playing a good game. There's really no point. Like, what are you going to gain from using it in that sort of stalemate situation?
Well, he had an issue with a streak use from Red Reserve in the last game, so maybe some questionable ones coming in from either side. Cade will drop. It's Shani down with a 2-piece. Slang. I mean, favoring Enigma6 a bit, but mostly just because of Cade. Everybody else sitting at negative right now. You saw that one-man army play he had across mid-map earlier in the half, and that is the difference right now with the 4-2 scoreline. Joe losing one gunfight to General. It's 3 down now for Red Reserve. It's their chance to get forward. They already have the drone in an aggressive spot. Proto trying to get around the last man. He might have been able to get to the edge of the drum, but I think he would have been tagged up from behind. So good job just taking that 1-point toss, making it a 3-point lead and a 2-possession lead.
Especially if you put pressure up on that side of the map, especially at Underpass, you know probably 1, maybe 2 people are going to be watching it. Proto takes advantage, picks up the first, moves the drone, and gets the 1 off. That's exactly what I mean. When you score points when you probably should not have, and now they have a solid 3-point lead.
Well, and the big thing, too, we talk about, kills, important kills versus unimportant kills to a degree. And it's wild, not really importance, but the difference. Like, look at Shani sitting at 17 and 10. I think all of his kills have been on their half of the map, right? They've all been defensive kills. And are those important? Yeah, they are, but it's not the same when those are all coming, in an aggressive position like you've seen for kind of Cade in that first half. Maybe a chance for more points for E6, but the last player drops. General actually still here. General, no, one more chance. We cut away from the final second to show the fist bumps. Nice half from E6.
The biggest thing I need to note as well, there's a lot of slaying going down on the side of Red Reserve, but E6 doesn't die in such quick succession.
Yeah.
You can see it sort of staggers. They slow it down. The last couple of players stay alive and buy time, whereas every time E6 gets a wave of kills, it's very quickly. You saw every single time they get a quick 3 dead, they can move that drone wherever they want and able to get those 1-point attempts off so quickly.
Well, big first half from this man on your screen, Cade. He's 18 and 10, and that was a horrendous grenade. But his teammates clear out everything else in front. 3 down, they're screaming on their feet. Shawnee, again, he's gonna be this lone man kind of playing defense. Can't clutch up all of them though. Cade roaring forward, 1 in front, 2 in front, killing everything, and there's another score coming through for E6. They're rolling early in this one. It's already a 3 streak for Cade.
Cade cannot be shut down, setting up for the spawn trap again. Finds one at the back, he gets traded, but 2 quick points. A lot of teams wouldn't be able to set up a relay like that because they're uncoordinated, the communication is off, or they're just trying to get too many kills. That's the perfect play.
That is the number of times I've knocked some of the top North American teams, whether it's LG, FaZe, Optic, where they'll get 4 down, but either no one has the drone or no one in a spot to toss it forward. It's like they're so slaying focused that sometimes it certainly ends up biting you. But back to the action here, it's General with 3 kills on defense to hold steady. Urban trying to answer back at mid.
Middle map control finally in the favor of Red Reserve. Cade just shooting way too good though. Urban is shut down. There is one player, number 4, General, flanking over towards the train tracks. Picks up 1, 2v2 situation now at the middle of the map. Needs to back down. But I don't know what Red Reserve is going to do. You can see how good E6 is at staying alive, and that opens up the door for Ruiz to hit that flank. General just being so annoying, doesn't get taken out, finally wins a gunfight, but now they have advantage. The drone does get by. Okay, so a quality play from Nile to get that one off. I'm not sure how E6 allowed that to happen, but man, it's just so hard to take out all of E6.
Yeah, we saw Proto, similar spot, kind of last guy alive that got off a 1-pointer on the opposite side. But Red Reserve, they do get some points, and they have the drone yet again, but still a lot of work to do. Urban tries to do it with that back pocket pistol again, but not able to do so. General and crew now on attack. This is going to be another 1-point toss. Ain't able to get gun up. The picked off the player at back Lime. Hasn't been able to finish it yet. There's the kill. He's got Camo to work with as well, and it's big. I mean, he has been consistently, just slaying in every single mode. Like, I don't know that I've ever spoken about him having an issue getting Camo in any single map this weekend.
Been an absolute beast for sure. E6 not wasting any time getting that drone to the enemy team base, and Red Reserve's constantly having to look behind them, whether it's the drone behind them, a player behind them. Just so annoying to play against. You can see they could just not get settled, and that's why the game looks so easy, honestly, for E6. They're trying to take that drone up again as trades go down.
Remember, that was, was it E6 versus Optic that they took the uplink right? Yeah, it was on Throwback. This was the same exact map where they were just in behind constantly.
Oh, hello.
Beat down and the dunk.
Peekaboo. You're dead.
Nice stuff from Proto. Now into double digits with the 10-3 lead, but yeah, they can be frustrating to play against, man. You're seeing it here. Now it's Camo.
Oh,
this is just your power abilities coming through. Beautiful, beautiful from Enigma6.
I wish we would have punched him there too. Back-to-back payload punches. That'd have been fun. Regardless though, E6 pulling away, locking down this game, a 9-point lead now for them. Proto just one of the best lead blockers in the game, in my opinion. Just can't stop him. So much pressure. General going to get this drone back in his hands again. You can see how fast. I want to just highlight it. Other teams need to notice how quickly they move the drone. They don't waste any time. They get the lead blocker up towards Hay. So many times we see the drone move over towards Lemon. It just takes so long. They don't waste time. They get so many points.
Yeah, they've been confident taking the 1-pointers when they're available or waiting on those specialists to get through for the dunk. 12-3 advantage for Enigma6, and this is exactly why, if you're watching earlier and wondering why we were putting so much pressure on that round 11 and how big it was for Red Reserve, this is why. This is the outcome you expected coming into this game.
Just fundamentally better on the game type. They know the teamwork is unmatched. The slaying is obviously there as well. Cade, 31 kills, still a minute left. Teammates stealing some of them. Another point going in. They have complete control. Spawn trap, 2 players already pushed up, and it's unbelievable.
It's like they're playing at a different pace entirely than Red Reserve right now. As another 1-pointer up and away. Pick's not there. 14-3, 45 seconds on the clock. And this has been impressive, man. I know we talked a lot about Cade throughout this, but Proto, he's also +6. General, +6 on a 5 streak right now. And look at the objective. You have 6 points for Proto there. General with 5 as well. This has been a really, really well-rounded team effort. And that's what we've said time and time again all weekend.
If you get that drone to a quality position, it makes the kills so much easier. And that's why Proto's just been able to be so annoying over towards Hay. That's one thing I want to note on this side, though. I think they put such an emphasis on that middle Hay. It gives them that lane from drone reset that a bit faster than most teams probably set up for. And that's what it probably catches them off guard. Urban doing his best to pick up a couple of kills. Ooh, 3-piece with the pistol again. Can he get the 4? Jeez. All right, a little flashy from Urban at the end of that one, but they get smoked.
Yeah, too bad those pistol kills do not matter. If they were worth points, that would be great. They are not. And Red Reserve gets annihilated in our Game 3 uplink on Throwback. So now how do you bounce back from that going into a hard point? I know the first game goes the way of Red Reserve, which I was surprised with how bad they were beaten last night by Optic Gaming. You're going into, what, Retaliation, is it?
Yeah.
You're going into Retaliation. What edge do you maybe see for Red Reserve, or do you think this is where E6 closes it up?
I think this one's over, to be honest. I think that throwing away that S&D is just sort of the killer in this series. Yes, I think Red Reserve does have a chance. They took that first hard point on a somewhat similar map on Breakout. So this could go map 5, but I think that's just too tough of a loss. You just get absolutely dominated on the link.
You really, really did. And, you know, talking about this Enigma6 team, you know, their faces that you saw years ago, but have been more up and coming this year. Let's talk about how these guys got to the CWL Global Pro League.
Enigma6 is a team consisting of young, talented players coming out of Michigan in Proto, General, Cade, and M. Ruiz. They are not standout players, but they work incredibly well together because of the chip that they have on their shoulder, especially General, Cade, and M. Ruiz. The trio erupted onto the Call of Duty esports scene at UMG California in 2015, but with the 18+ rule going into effect for the CWL, Enigma6 were unable to compete last season. That makes this year their time to shine. Enigma6 exploded into CWL Vegas, battling their entire way through the open bracket straight into pool play. E6 would go 9-0 in pools, shocking the community with 3-0 wins over Optic Gaming.
Just 2.5 minutes from 3-0ing Optic Gaming.
And eventually CWL Vegas champions Rise Nation.
Enigma6 get the job done. The 3-0 of the green wall. They've now 3-0'd Rise Nation.
Outside of Vegas, they have consistently placed top 12 at major LAN events and have victories in multiple online 2K tournaments. So far this year, Enigma6 can be defined by their ability to rebound and improve as a team. After league play changes following Vegas, the team did see a dip in performance, falling from top 8 in Vegas to top 16 in Atlanta. Enigma6 is certainly a team that is on the rise, and one with potential to beat anyone in the Global Pro League. Keep your eyes on General. He was an absolute monster at CWL Dallas. He posted the highest overall respawn KD with a 1.28 and the second highest S&D KD at 1.53. These are elite statistics and will go a very long way to helping Enigma6 compete against the world's best. Tune in May 12th through the 14th to see how Enigma6 performs in Stage 1 of the CWL Global Pro League.
The face of Rich Campbell, one you hope to never see again. But let's take a look at the top 10 Hardpoint leaderboard. You've got Forval up top.
This is scary. You see one player from Red Reserve right at the bottom there, and that's negative. It's not looking too good going into this retail, in my opinion.
God, you see, it's Optic all throughout, but then, yeah, General's been a monster. You see all 4 players of E6, and Red Reserve, where art thou?
When the highlight's the .96, that's tough.
That does make it very difficult when none of your players are above a 1.0 and Hardpoint. You got to think, you know, playing against a team that, if it was Optic, who sometimes may lose to a team if it's a close slaying battle, maybe they only outslay by a little bit, but E6, I just don't see them falling to that. I just don't.
I'll play devil's advocate.
Okay, I like that. I like that.
If you take away that breakout where they got smoked by Optic, I'd like to see the stats without that game.
That's true.
Because that's going to weigh you down. That's a huge anchor on your overall stat category.
That's actually a very good point.
Many players were going, what, quad neg?
Yeah, that's like one of those games you don't rebound from.
Yeah.
Like you have that quadruple negative. It's like, oh, well, I might as well say screw my Hardpoint stats for the rest of the weekend. But it is going to be Retaliation. And, God, we'll see if Red Reserve can do it. Again, the storyline's here a bit. If E6 wins, they have a chance to take on Optic Gaming later. Maybe a 3-0 victory puts them into first place. And for Red Reserve, they get a victory here. They're at least feeling good about third. Maybe they can steal a spot into second. So Elevate right now, you know, if you're watching, you are very much rooting for Enigma6 to close this out, because then you have a chance next match versus Red Reserve to bump up into third.
Definitely. Speaking to E6 as well, we didn't think Envy was going to steal that #1 seed. They did it in week 1 of the Pro League. It could happen again.
I didn't think there was any chance in the world that Envy was going to 3-0 splice in that fashion. And Apathy, I see on the desk. I'm sorry that I doubted you, buddy. You played great all weekend, even though you were carried by Slasher.
You don't got to do him like that. Oh, he's not paying attention.
He wasn't even listening.
We're good.
All right, well, Cade, you know, he started off really well, and the uplink played brilliant throughout. He's 2-0 now. See if he can maybe start to build some streaks. A third in the back, a fourth. All he saw was the forehead of Nile. Not able to pick it off. Nile just killed the entire side of Enigma6. And now maybe they can actually turn this into some points. There's your first tick for the Red Reserve.
E6 gets a lot of that intra time. Nile shuts it down though. Should be able to get some time back in their favor. There is one player, Fredo, flanks on this wall run. Easy couple of kills if he can hit a shot. Finally does it. 3 dead now. Whips out the pistol. Looks like people are learning.
Dude!
It's dominant.
These pistols are sick. You've only seen them from a couple of players, but my God, man, the confidence you see with these guys flying in and how fast with the headshots they can melt. I mean, that 2-tap from Urban the other day was absolutely wild. Proto still has a pistol in hand. I guess he feels a lot better about it than the NV4 at close range.
It's a really good call. If you can fire that up super quick in these close quarters, especially around Bike, like, it's going to do you better than an NV4 would probably. Able to slide, gets the kill onto Urban. Urban, you got to stop teaching people, my man.
Oh my God, it is this dominant backpack for the NV4, and you can see him continuing to do work and those close-range gunfights. Unfortunately for him, most of the time has been going to Red Reserve here on Lower Street as they're set up nicely, and now Cade likely going to fly in on the pinch, but he's getting tagged in the back. Nice reaction there. Proto got the entry kill as well. Over the top is Cade. There's 2, 1 left in Bike. Give him the third. He saw you. You're going to be dead momentarily. He actually backs up and retreats wisely there to get set up with his team. But now you take a look, as good as that looked for Red Reserve for a moment, they're a nice setup at Lower Street. Now you get broken, and now you see the top of the minimap. You've got Ruiz and Proto set up to try and hold the spawns, and there you go. Everybody pops up.
I want to highlight Ruiz. He took the long route all the way around Market to get his teams the spawns, and look at him now, just sitting pretty in the hill. A heads-up play. He was the first one to spawn up off that first wave of deaths. He gets the spawns for his teammates early on that second hardpoint. He set up this play long ago.
Well, now it's going to be Cade and General Teep that are holding players off. Ruiz wants involved in the action, snapping everywhere, getting the assist. That's going to be all 4 dead. Now you see a Lower Street spawn coming in for Red Reserve. Is they're going to take another crack at this? They've probably got, what, 1 more chance, possibly 2, before they're going to have to give up hopes here and move over to the broken building. What do you like about this hold from E6 thus far?
Just a lot of pressure up towards Hotel. That's exactly what you need to disrupt. If you can get that intro kill, it makes the break attempt so much harder as the other players try to push up over towards Market. So they disrupt that push. You can't set up anything if there's so much pressure, and now they have such a crazy lead.
Let's get over to Ruiz if we can, just because he's going to be the first person in this bottom tunnel to try and get him behind enemy lines, and he does it beautifully. There's Urban, 1 more here, can't find it yet, somehow still alive. A nice nade to tag him up and back him down, and you might get a quick break here. You got all the time in Grave, and now you're going to get the time here on Broken if he can just stay alive. 2 more players collapsing. He's able to tag up Joe somehow. Ruiz still alive in this. The hip fire in the slide going to get it done as well. And there's the break. There's still 1 more player. Urban is still alive in the back. Ruiz should be dead.
Ah! Oh my God! Are you kidding me?
All right. Well.
Oh, what a snap from Ruiz to get the spawns, and now they're locking down more hardpoint time. Making the plays, he's making the rotations, and then on the next hill just decimates the other team, pretty much embarrassing them.
Oh God, that was just beautiful, beautiful stuff from Ruiz. I mean, how long did he survive there? 30 or so seconds between when he got into the underpass and stayed up to make plays for his team, and that's a big reason you see this huge advantage now for Enigma6. All right, Red Reserve, you broke it in, but there's only 10 seconds remaining here. It's time to get into Hotel Hallway, and guess what? There's a staggering of yellow arrows ready to pounce.
Stacking up towards this top bridge side as they wrap back in towards their side of curve. But so much time going in their favor already. Yes, they finally break, but E6 able to get about 10 seconds before they even get in contest. But now it looks like there's a solid setup. You can see how far the spawns are out for E6. They should be able to get at least 20 seconds here.
Urban trying to hold the edge, pick up time for his teammates. There you see the turn with the pistol, but not enough to get it done. It's Cade not only picking up Urban, but also busting through for Nile as well. And now E6 in control. 30 seconds remaining here. They're set up beautifully. Inside, you got Cade looking over the back. There's going to be a Shawnee pushing in just a moment. We see Shawnee through the back. He peeks. Cade already backing him down, and he's just biding his time. They're picking up all the time. The pinch actually comes in from Nile here, Teep, and Red Reserve will be able to rack up, again, the final 10 seconds, right?
They're clawing back, though. I thought that hill was going to go a lot heavier into E6's favor, but they get some points back, a good 20, 30 seconds clawing their way back. So, yeah, still in a deficit. They need to get some more time here at Bridge, but they finally get the other team to spawn out. Some trades going in. They're getting the closer spawns. They should be able to, they might be able to take the lead here if they keep slaying like this.
Well, let's see if they're able to do it. Cade's got the first, a nade up over the top, see if he can back anybody down. Needs to wait on his teammates to come through the rear, but it's been Urban. Urban gets 2, Nile with 1 as well. And it's crazy to think of the score of this game, just how low sliding it currently is. You've got, what, 3-4 players haven't even cracked double digits.
Yeah, very, very weird indeed. E6 plays that first rotation basically flawless. But Red Reserve on this new rotation playing it quite well. E6 answers back though, should get this last 20 seconds of scrap time to secure their lead back up to around 40 or so. It's going to be heavily dependent on this rotation over towards third hardpoint. I know we're going to lower street, but wherever team gets spawns for Cathedral is going to have that advantage.
Yeah, that's the big one, right? Between Cathedral and Destroy Building is where you saw Ruiz and really the whole side of Enigma6 really do work. Lower street battle has still been back and forth. A couple kills going the way of Red Reserve, and now they're racking up some points. Proto trying to stay alive till his teammates can collapse here with him. Did a solid job for a moment. Finally, Joe able to pick him in the corner. And this might be where they can come out. I mean, lower street's been one of the more successful hardpoints for them.
Contesting gunfights going down back and forth. E6 getting those close spawns up towards market. And I think a huge mistake right now is Red Reserve isn't sending someone on that long flank like Emery's did on the previous one. You need to lock down those spawns over towards Cathedral. They aren't really focusing on it at all. Yes, they do need to focus on the lower street hardpoint time, but they are winning those gunfights. But you can see E6 is still getting those spawns on the strong side. So I guess not too much of a mistake since they're getting time, but you could do more with it is what I'm saying.
Yeah, maybe one person try to make a sneaky play around the back, but now with Nile racking it up, you got to think what's going to be disrupting here is that 4 on the minimap. General spawns out, and now they start to make a play. He's going to be picked up and should be able to collapse in from behind. So you're going to have, what, only 2 players on the attack right now, right, for Red Reserve. They're able to win the first engagement, but here comes General from the backside. Ring around the rosy here in market. Finally, he'll get tagged up from behind, and now it's kind of a sprint. It's just a race right now. You have advantage. You have numbers if you're Red Reserve. You've got to bust in and get control.
That's a huge win from Nile over towards Hotel Door. Last player alive is going to be Cade. Gets out with his life, I believe. Now 2 players, those kills cannot happen if you're Red Reserve. You're just chasing at that point. Nile almost picks up the 3rd. Cade, the last one alive. Can he pick up the double? Joe holding strong, but there is the flood of E6 players. He needs to play his life here.
I think he just caught a nade to the face. He should be dead in a moment. There's the 2 players from E6 able to push through. This Cathedral has been back and forth. If you're Red Reserve, you're at least spawning out. The last player up is Joe. And it looks like he's just going to wait, spawn his teammates over by Broken, and it's going to be on Ruiz. He was the one that made the clutch play last time they came across from the opposite side, of course, but can he be a magic worker now? Nope, gunned down by Nile.
Now E6 in a pretty tough position now that Emery's got taken out. Nile picks up the 2nd onto Cade, but can the duo of Cade and Emery's group up and break this hard point again? They just did it on Cathedral. Red Reserve needs to get the money hill locked down for the entirety of this time. Nile's movement right here, though, is quite good. E6 not wasting any time, just flooding in towards that front of the hard point. Trades going back and forth, and they get broken again. E6 doesn't even care about the spawns. The setup is too far out from Red Reserve. They get broken for free, basically, again.
Yeah, at least you get a close spawn here. You can race back. I mean, I feel like was Nile the only person to get a kill during that? I think he got 4. No one else from Red Reserve really involved in the action. E6 back in control. You have Shawnee all the way in the back of the map trying to fight, but General just picked him off as well. You're going to be able to hit over the 240 mark here if you control the rest, and should be able to win it inside a hotel hallway. I know we've seen some wild comebacks, but this may be the end of Red Reserve in this best of 5.
Getting some scrap time back in their favor, but just the way that they've been playing it,
God.
that was... People need to stop hip firing. It doesn't work.
Well, he got both, like 10% health, but didn't actually end up killing either of them. And he had the hip fire with the NB4, not exactly pleasant.
General with some team shots over towards that hotel hallway. As E6 doing their best to try and lock down this game. Proto gets the better of that trade. Only need about 12 more seconds. The spawn out is pretty far away from Red Reserve. I think they're going to close it out. The stun from the Scarab coming in towards platform. Payload is going to be popped from Shawnee. He does get 2. It's a bit of a saving grace for Red Reserve. They need to win these trades, though.
Urban still there to back him up. Shawnee with the first 2. Joe and Urban close out the rest. It's General on the backside that's able to get a break, and there's going to be a lot of pressure coming Nile's way in a moment. General pops that reactive armor. They're able to tag team him to shut it down, but you just need 3 more points here. Cade trying to get it done. He gets both assists for Ruiz, and now they have the numbers. They're trying to fly in there to get the last couple of ticks. You have to keep contesting right now if you're Red Reserve. That should be it. The final points in, and E6 gets another big W.
A clutch win from E6 there to make their series count even better here in the group. But man, some really tough losses in my opinion for Red Reserve. I think they played better on those hard points. They focused on those rotations, but you can't just let the other team waltz in, pop a two-piece from the front door specifically on Broken. They let the Search and Destroy go from, what, a 3-5 lead? Or, yeah, 5-3 lead, I meant to say. It's just unacceptable.
You had to win the Search. I mean, that's how you're going to win series. You were never going to beat E6 in the Uplink. They've just been too strong all weekend. Your specialty is Search. That was what this team has been excelling on since they were formed. You had to win it. You should have even gone to around 11. That's where you lost it there. But at least in the overall map count, they get a map. But it's really going to come down to this next series with Elevate. I'm going to have to look at the breakdown of everything. But this one will likely be deciding who gets that third place spot, which gets them into stage 2 and a pool play at Anaheim, and also into the CWL championship later in the year.
Yeah, it's going to be some crazy stuff, some huge series on the line. But I do think we have an interview ready on the side of E6. Let's throw it to Puckett on the stage.
Great stuff from Maven and TP, but also incredible stuff from this man. We have M. Ruiz, and someone in the crowd just said, Ruiz doesn't even need bullets to pick up kills. Tell me about that last game. You had an amazing break over at the Broken Hardpoint. How did that all play out? How did you guys get back in this one and finish strong?
Well, I couldn't do it without my teammates. You know, they were always there supporting me. I was tagging them up. All they were doing was getting the kills. I was just getting assists.
Now, can you kind of break down the team's strategy? Because we talked to General, and he said, you know, I can do it all. It seems that you guys all take turns with the different roles. But what's your job on the team?
I don't know. I usually go for spawns. I can play the hill, but mostly I'm just in the hill.
Rough start to this series, and Search and Destroy It was looking ugly. You guys had an epic comeback. Was there anything said amongst the team? Did you guys change up anything in specific? How did you come back in the Search?
We just had to keep composure. That's all it was. I was like, I don't know, I was doing really bad. But when I clutched the 1v2, that's when we turned it around.
You clutched that 1v2. You guys win this series. Now you have a tied series score with Optic Gaming, and you get a chance to potentially even steal that #1 seed in the final week. What are your thoughts going into that last match?
Optic Gaming's team is going to be a great match. Can't wait.
It's going to be a great match. This M. Ruiz. Give it up for him one more time. For now, let's send it back to the desk with Benson.
Thank you very much, Chris. Of course, Enigma6 with a 3-1 victory there over Red Reserve. It makes the final 2 games of the day extremely interesting. But before we get to all the possibilities and the outcomes, we'll break down the series as it happened. Map #1 didn't start off well for Enigma6. It started off very well, however, for Red Reserve. It was a 250 to 194 win for them. And it was a weird one, Chance, because at the start, you actually had General double positive, most hill time on the team, but they just weren't able to close it out. What went wrong for Enigma6 in your opinion?
Well, it's an interesting decision as well. Some of the stuff General was doing was hopping in and out of the hills, trying to play for those streaks. So he was happily giving away, 6, 7, 8 seconds of hill time just so he can move on to work for those streaks. So it's a debate. Is it worth going for the streaks if you're costing your team directly hill time? Of course, he does earn them, but they get, 20 points off of the 2 streaks that he uses. So it's curious whether or not that's always going to be worth it. That's obviously the strategy that they went with, but of course, it really doesn't matter when you get to the end and you got a player like Niall going off.
And speaking of Niall Merck, he was the one player that you were consistently singing his praises throughout map #1.
Absolutely, and he was loud. He was bringing the energy, something we haven't heard from either of these 2 European teams all weekend. And we've talked about Urban the entire weekend. Finally, in this game #1, he gets some help from Niall and Shawnee, and that's what you want to see. It's such a difference when they bring that energy. Unfortunately, it didn't last too long.
Very true. Of course, Red Reserve do win map #1, and if they had won this series, it would have secured that #3 spot. So going into map #2, you thought maybe they had a little bit of momentum. Wasn't the case. It goes the distance to around 11. E6 pick up the map. But after I want to start with you on this one. What was the turning point for E6 in map 2?
Well, Ruiz was actually in a 1v2. He clutches up a kill, gets 1 kill, makes it a 1v1. And I believe Joe, I guess, ran out of ammo. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Put some shots, wasn't able to clean up that kill, and unfortunately gets taken out. And I felt like that was such a big game changer because it's just so much momentum. They're playing really well, and then to lose a round like that where you should have closed out the game, it just switches the momentum to the other team.
And then Urban, I mean, he was just destroying the entire time. You saw him 12 and 8, and I mean, he has streaks, and he wasn't able to use them effectively with that Trinity Rocket bombardment. You heard the casters talking about it. Those are streaks, and those are the times you have to be able to clutch up. And then this round 11, Joe just gets some really unfortunate timing, and then all of Enigma6 win their one-on-ones. Just a great job for them to keep composure and come back from a 3-5 deficit.
Yeah, definitely not the easiest thing to do, but Enigma6 able to do it. So series tied at 1-1. We then head over to the uplink, and I mean, coming into it, Enigma6, they were flawless. They're still yet to drop an uplink, and no surprise chance they completely dominate map number 3. Why are they so good, though, in your opinion?
They have so many tricks in their bag. It's kind of ridiculous. We even saw on Throwback yesterday when they were playing against Optic, very patient, being annoying, kind of sitting in corners, letting those players run past, getting those kills. But even this time, they're playing in this match, mixing up. They pull another trick out of the bag. Their opening break, instantly go for that drone toss straight over the building, try to score some early points, and that's something they tried multiple times.
Yeah, exactly. They almost get a 1 straight right off the break without even getting kills. I believe they only got 1 kill, and they somehow almost managed to get a point. But on top of that, they just capitalize on their kills. You know, they'll get 1 entry, grab the ball, and just go for it, even if they have teammates or enemies are all around the map.
Yeah, it's beautiful uplink gameplay because, I mean, look, he should have hit that, but he gets a kill, he throws it over, he gets it to himself. That's what we talked about, constant drone movement, and we feel like that's what other teams lack. They're trying to get kills first, which of course is a good thing, but you have to be able to progress that drone while you're doing it. It's what a lot of teams lack.
And even specifically for that game, the 14-3, that's a game where E6 not only outplays their opponent, but outslays them by a pretty heavy margin. Because we've seen other teams in the past, even if they outslay, the games can be incredibly close, but E6 multifaceted. If they're slaying, they're going to have an absolute field day. Proto said they were going to be undefeated in Uplink, and so far they're 5-0.
Yeah, he wasn't lying. They've had a fantastic event when it comes to Uplink. But moving forward to map number 4, of course, it was E6 at match point. And there was one specific moment that really impressed you, Apathy, in that map number 4, Cade and Grave. I mean, what impressed you so much about it?
So basically what went down was Cade was left in that Grave Hill by himself in a 1v3 situation. A guy comes from the front, tries to kill him. He gets that big kill, gets out the hill, stays alive. Ruiz comes through the street, helps him out. They double team one guy in the hill. And then after that, so a 2v1 situation, they get the last kill, and just such huge plays from Cade to hold that hill in time.
And you saw on that kind of breakdown there just how many points they were able to get. 87-10 was the Grave differential there in terms of hardpoint time. But I believe we can send it back down to Jack on the telestrator. We just can't get him away from it today. Jack, what have you got for us in game 4?
I'm dropping knowledge bombs in here. I've got to give credit where it is due. Cade with some monster plays, but arguably my play of the entire match was M. Ruiz in this far right corner of your screen. Focus on this 4-point area I dropped down. He winds up pushing through this lower pass, and we do have the video for you. Let's go ahead and roll it. We can take a look at how exactly he made this possible. He pushes through underpass, through this bottom tunnel, gets 1 kill. Look where he is. He's all by himself on the minimap, stays alive, plays his life, weakens this player, and this is a huge opportunity now on this back broken money hill for the opposing team to get a ton of time. Somehow still alive, gets a 2nd kill, picks a player off the back area where you anchor those spawns, challenges the 3rd, cleans him up with the hip fire, and continues to rain down terror. And then you know what? He decides to get fancy with it here as he turns and burns down onto Urban. You saw those kills come in. Now he's got Cade inside the objective, and the rest of his team had enough time to storm up the map. Let's go ahead now, bring it back over to here on the telestrator so you can see exactly how that played out. So I'll get rid of the 4 points. He winds up pushing right through underpass. And here we know this area is the key to hold for your team to get those spawns on this hard point. M. Ruiz pushes on through. He gets that 1st kill down here, stays alive, which is the key thing. It's all about buying his team time to push out the other lanes to force the spawns from the opposing team out towards either lower street or all the way in Cathedral. Does a great job of getting a 2nd kill. Stays alive even longer. Weakens a 3rd player, but the big gunfight win for me absolutely had to be when he hit the high wall run here, challenged the player in the back spawn, picked him off that area of cover where only the head can be seen. A very, very high skill play. A lot of technical play by him to not only stay alive, play his life, but the key point to bring up, bought enough time for his teammates to surge right across middle map and get into the hard point. That could have been a full 60-second hold for the side of Red Reserve if they got the setup they wanted, and instead M. Ruiz plays spoiler by killing all 4 opponents on the other team. An MVP-like play from him. That's it for me today on the telestrator. Benson, back to you boys.
Thank you very much, Jack. Once again, a fantastic breakdown. You could be...
He's a beautiful man.
You could be taking your job there, Joe. You're not too careful on that telestrator. Jack really doing a fantastic job there. Thank you to him for breaking down the play. But congratulations, of course, to Enigma6, the 3-1 victory over Red Reserve. That now puts us at the halfway mark through day 3, and there is still so much to play for. Uplink versus E6 to close out the day is now for the #1 seed. Up next, however, we have the Battle of Europe as it returns once again. It went the distance last time, but now it's a fight not just for stage 2, but for also that COD champ spot.